Hey, we're up. We're live. Look at everyone's here.
This
we
is
all
the
have
first.
the post record store day hangovers here. This is the first week after record store day, the big giant record store day. I hope everyone got sucker punched as much as I did, if you bothered to go out. Anyways, we'll find out about that later as we get going. Welcome everyone to the vinyl collection. This is episode, I think, 22. Who knew we'd be doing this for this long? Certainly not I. It just basically started where I was going through my record collection. I thought, turn the camera on and we'll just go through it together, what's in here. And had some friends join along and they're showing off their collections. And it's kind of turned into a weekly howdy do on the vinyl scene, which has been a lot of fun. And I appreciate all you guys for showing up. And as well as the vinyl pundits that join me here, as you can see in the top right and full bottom of the screen.
I got the whole bottom to myself.
Full bottom.
I like a big bottom. So
he's full bottom.
all good.
He's full bottom today. So at least for Kevin being full bottom, that deserves a subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. That'll show Kevin how much you like him on the bottom. Is it called power bottom? Is that what they call that? No, that's something else. Power top. I guess Bandy's the power top. Yeah. Okay.
Tower power.
Speaking of which, Matt Bandy's on the top. He's back with us. It's good to see you, sir.
You too. Good to be here.
And of course, Kevin buried on Mars on the bottom. What's he flogging today? WordPress.com. Wow, he's pushing the blog today.
Yep. Got a fresh post up there. Music related too. Go check it out.
Very good. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Well, both you and Sarah have been doing music stuff recently on the blog.
Yep. We've been doing a tandem reviews of Led Zeppelin studio albums.
Right. That's right. Yeah, I commented on her first Zeppelin comment. She said she went for not Robert Plant, but Jimmy Page over Plant. I thought, yeah, I would totally do Robert Plant before Jimmy Page myself. But
she likes guitarists.
Which brings me to the question, will we get to see you in your dragon jumpsuit?
Oh, absolutely. You know I'm all about the cosplay, and I have several to choose from. I'm just trying to decide which one. And once I settle on it, guaranteed.
Wow, I can't wait. Get some subscribers there. Yeah, Paige loved his dragon jumpsuits. Am I right? I'm remembering that right?
I don't know what a dragon jumpsuit is, so I just went with it.
The song remains the same. Is he not wearing a jumpsuit with like dragon flames up the side and stuff? Maybe I'm remembering that wrong. Maybe that was a fantasy.
I remember like a white jumpsuit or some other, like a one piece leisure suit looking thing, kind of.
On Page, I remember Townsend wearing those.
Oh yeah, it was similar to that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, anyways, we are still waiting for the mighty Chris Roberts to join us. He'll be along at some point. And if anyone else wants to join in, you're welcome to chat with us in the chat. And of course, the link to get in the show is even in the chat. You can call in and get on this show. Like, how crazy is that?
When's Denise gonna call in?
I don't know. I think if Kevin keeps, throwing shade at her, she might not want to.
I am on Team Denise. Hashtag Team Denise. I'm all about Team Denise. Paige is wearing like roses and stuff. He looks more like one of the three amigos than a dragon. So I don't know where you're getting that from. You can call that up on the internet and show it on the screen.
I could. My computer would explode. So I wouldn't want to chance it. I shouldn't have hit go so quick on this broadcast because apparently StreamYard has rolled out some new options where I can make you guys big while keeping us small. Instead of it's just only the host that could do that before, but I still don't know how to do that. See, that's me big.
Mm-hmm.
That's still me big. That's all of us. Mm-hmm. What if I do that and then do that? No. What if I do that? People are loving this. No, that don't work. StreamYard lies to us because they've rolled out stuff before where they said, hey, you're going to be able to do this and this and this, and it doesn't happen. I think it's a Canada thing, to be honest with
Maybe
you.
it's paid. Maybe it's the paid version.
Definitely. Yeah, they get more for sure. However, I can't resist it anymore. Let's get the main. Are you ready for this? Maybe we should wait until we get 30 likes before we bring in Chris Roberts with his new high definition camera.
Oh,
Come on.
We're going to be waiting for Chris's camera for a long time. 30 likes.
God damn it. Anyways, yes, let's get ready to hit the likes and the subscribes. Here's Chris Roberts. Let's see what he looks like, folks.
Anyways, yeah. What's up?
Hey,
Wow.
I could not fix the lighting. I just got home from work, so next week I'll have all the kinks out. But
It looks.
Is this the new camera?
it is the new camera. I'm just stuck in a corner, and there's not a lot of light over here, and I had to half-ass do everything. So give it a week. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
You don't believe it's a new camera?
Well, it's
All right.
I mean, it could be.
It looks
mean-
brighter. It definitely looks brighter.
Oh, you know what? Maybe it's not. Hold on a second. I think these settings I had the settings right, and once I went to the thing, into your little chat room, it all got tweaky. So hold on. But go ahead, talk. Let me see what I can do. Do your thing.
Well, I am going to copy Chris Roberts today. I got a big show planned. We're going to talk about how we did on Record Store Day, and then I'm also going to copy Chris Roberts. Look at this. I went to the garage, and I've been threatening you guys with my 45 collection for a long time. So look at that.
Hmm.
I'm going to copy Chris Roberts and do that with him. We'll have a 45 war, and then I do have a couple pieces that I will break into, brand new pieces of vinyl I'll break into in the second hour. So that's what I look forward to. Yeah, so Record Store Day. Did anyone else go out? I went out and found nothing. Matt Bandy, did you go out?
no, I didn't. I historically don't go to Record Store Day. There's usually not a lot of releases that I'm interested in. I think I told on one of the earlier episodes, the one time I actually stood out and waited for a Record Store Day was for that Typo Negative Bloody Kisses reissue, because that thing had been out of print for ages and was really expensive. And then Record Store Day announced that they were putting it out, so I got it. And a couple months later, I think Roadrunner Records reissued it, and I was like, so. But yeah, that's about the only time I've ever really gone to Record Store Day. Usually too much of a hassle.
That's what I find too. Like I remember, was it last year? The big record that everybody was looking for was the Weezer one with all the cover songs on it, and people were going nuts for it. They couldn't find it, and they put the record out like 2 months later. Now it wasn't the colored vinyl; it was just the black vinyl. But I mean, you could still get the album. It wasn't like as if it wasn't, you wouldn't be able to get the songs on vinyl. So I didn't go out either. I decided against it. There wasn't really too much there that interests me. There was a New Order album that Sarah was interested in. So we looked at it. The store that's closest to us, every store is like 30 to 40 minutes away from us too. It's not like just a small drive down the street. So the store closest to us had just a ton of rules. They were only allowing 6 people in the store at a time. And then they were only allowed to be in there for a half an hour. So if we were, 12th in line, we have to wait an hour just to get in to the place. And we just weren't interested in doing that. The other store, I mean, you don't know what they have either, right? You got to drive all the way out there for the record too. So we just decided not to do it, and just decided to look at Discogs afterwards to see if it was, if the record would be on there, because even if you pay a little more for shipping, you're not wasting your time going out there for it, because that's what I've done before with the Sheepdogs albums. I went to a store, they didn't have it. It was on Discogs like a week later, and they charged the exact same price, and all I had to do was pay for shipping. So the New Order album that she was looking for did end up on Discogs, but it turned out it only had 4 songs. It was an EP, it wasn't an LP, and they wanted $30 for it. And so I was like, no, I don't want that. So there you go. We would have wasted all of our time going out there for finding that out. Like, that's the other thing too. Like, what is exactly on these albums and that it's not always clear what it is that you're getting. Like, is it a single? Is it a full LP? Sometimes it'll say LP, but it's just, it's just a 12-inch single, a couple of songs on both sides. So
yeah, it's a pain. Like I said, my 2 stores had an allotment that was just a joke. It was so frustrating. It's got to be hurting the record stores more than helping the record stores, because that's just teaching me not to go to these places. It's so frustrating. So nothing for me on record store day. However, my one record store downtown Barrie, what they do for record store day is, maybe it's because they know they're not going to get any kind of allotment, they put the whole store on for 20% off. So I did, I kind of soothed my wounds by grabbing a couple brand new albums, and we'll take a look at that in hour 2 of this show.
Yeah,
last year. Sorry, go ahead.
That's something I wish that my local store would do, was for record store day, do a store-wide sale, but they never do that. That would actually get me to come out to the shop.
Well, last year when I went to Sudbury for record store day, that's what I noticed, was that people weren't even looking at the record store day stuff. They were flipping through all the regular bins just to get stuff on sale. They didn't even care about. It's kind of weird.
Yeah,
all right, I got it on now.
I looked at both of my places too. Still no lemon twigs on vinyl, so I still don't own the lemon twigs, but I'm still looking. Sorry, Chris Roberts, go ahead.
That's all right. Sorry, buddy. I thought you were stopped talking, but I forgot you don't. No, I'm just joking, Bill. Just joking. No, I turned it on now, so I don't know. I know it's on now because I can see the little light on. So this is not good enough for your show. I don't know what to tell you. The lighting in this corner I need to fix though, because I am stuck in a corner, but I didn't have a lot of choice.
It just looks very 2006.
I don't know what to tell you, dude.
I know you've got a brand name.
I don't know what
webcam.
to tell you. It's brand new.
Maybe it's your internet. Like, are you on? Are you sure you're on like Wi-Fi?
I mean, you look like you're in the Bat Cave,
plan?
so I'm not sure where your big high horse is, buddy. I mean,
no, Kevin's not blocky though. See, look at that guy.
I don't know. It's weird. It's on your guys' end, but I don't. Well, I mean, it looks bright, is what I'm seeing. Let me see.
I'm just trying to help you out, Chris. I'm not.
Well, what do you want me to do, man? I mean, I got the internet. I live in a small town. I don't know what to tell you.
You do look better than you did last week.
Yeah, like it does look brighter.
I don't know what to tell you, man. It just is what it is.
That's significantly better. Like, I can read track names now.
Yeah, it's all good, man. There's a setting where you can select between like 360 and 480 or 1080. There might be still some hidden thing to check. Okay. Well, otherwise, you look good. You're bright, and we
looking.
Get you.
Well, I know I'm bright. The light is way too close, but I didn't have enough time.
I appreciate you putting in the effort to up your tech for the show. It's good stuff. Did you go out for record store day by chance?
No.
But you did go swapping, I bet you.
Yeah, I always do that. I don't need a special day for that. Just the day it's open.
They should have, an international swap day. Okay, let me start. And I'm going to start adjacent, I guess, because I just thought I need something adjacent to start this show. And I went to my shelves and grabbed this. This has not been opened yet. This is a concert DVD. This should be a special video just itself. Paul McCartney and Wings rock show. This is from 76, the Wings Across America tour. All the major hits are there. Like, this is big time. Big time.
No Uncle Albert?
And what's that?
No Uncle Albert? Is that the name of the song? That was a Wings
No.
song.
Yeah, yeah.
No, that's a Paul McCartney song.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he does Beatles stuff here. He does Wing stuff. It's all here. Let's take a look. Let's open it and see. This is exciting. Uh-oh, no knife. Where'd my knife go? I'm going to have to be a man and open it without a knife.
Use your teeth.
I can't be a man.
Come on, not in a corner.
There
Oh,
you go.
scissors.
Okay. I think someone actually gave me this too. A coworker at work had this in his collection, and he didn't want it.
It wasn't Joe, was it?
No, no, and just gave it to me, and that's awesome. Yes, I appreciate this. Is this? It is DVD. Yeah, it's DVD. It's not Blu-ray. There's the inside, and it's quite a little bit of a booklet here.
A digibook.
What year is that from?
The release is from 2013.
What year is the concert from? Sorry.
Concert is 76. Quite the booklet in here. Well, stay tuned on this channel for a unboxing where we go through the booklet page by page. Wow, look at all this. There's Linda. Her mic's probably turned off. And
She was a good photographer.
there's the poster. And the disc is in this little sleeve here. I don't know if you guys watched the latest video I put out here, this Bob Dylan scrapbook I pumped out on the channel. It is full of all kinds of memorabilia and artifacts in this scrapbook, as well as a CD of old interviews and stuff. And the CD's missing. I've done something with the CD. So that was frustrating. There's the disc. So this will be good. Let's see what the audio is here. DVD dual layer. It's a widescreen Dolby surround 5.1. Oh no, there's DTS there too, which is my favorite. So all in all, there you go. That's what I'm going to start with today. And when we come back around to me, after we do Chris Roberts' 45s, I'll show you my 45s. So I can pass the torch on to Matt Bandy. He said he was going to have a special episode for us today and a special theme. It's only
do have
preschooler music today.
Yeah. It's so the first two things I'm gonna show are not part of the theme. So this is separate from the theme. But this is gonna be a theme within this is gonna be my recurring theme. Since we've been doing vinyl adjacent, I'm gonna just do I think I'm gonna call it the cassette corner or cassette cult, something like that. So yeah. What I'm going to show here are the first two physical releases from a band called Throne of Iron. They are a traditional heavy metal band from Indiana, of all places, central Indiana, which is not far from where I grew up as a kid. But this release here came out in 2019. This was the second edition, or the repress of this. I didn't get the initial run. It was pretty small and sold out fairly quickly before I got a hold of it. So luckily it got a repress from Witchcraft Records, which I believe they're either from England or Germany. But I originally heard about Throne of Iron through Banger TV, which is a Canadian heavy metal TV, or not TV show, program through YouTube. And one of the reviewers had highlighted this band, and that's where I discovered it. This first release was all done by one guy, so it was his kind of project that eventually turned into a band. But for this release, he did it all himself, and all the theme is very influenced by like original advanced Dungeons and Dragons, and a lot of the like this song "Call to Adventure" is kind of a love letter to D&D. So that's kind of the theme behind this band, and I love a lot of the artwork has that old D&D feel to it as well. So
I do think you've shown them before.
I
think so. I remember it.
Okay.
Are you ever tempted to grab the pencil crayons and fill that cover in?
No. Maybe I'd make a Xerox.
Crayons?
Maybe make a Xerox of it and then I'd color it in. That would be fun. I could do that. That's a good idea, Kevin. I might do that. Yeah. So, and then their second release here was a split that they did with Hillsfar, which is a dungeon synth band that I have shown on this show before. In this called The Crypt of Blades is the name of this release here. So the side one is Hillsfar. Actually, yeah. So each side has one song by each band, and it's just on a kind of a gray cassette. This was through Icefall Records, which this was their first release. Actually, no, second release. Sorry. I'm not sure if have they put anything out after this. I'm not sure. And you just got a little shot of the band. This is Throne of Iron here, and over here is the guy behind Hillsfar. So, yeah, it's good stuff.
Is it a short album? Because there's a lot of tape there.
Yeah, no, there's only 4 tracks on the whole thing.
Okay.
So it looks like side 1 is 8 minutes and side 2 is 13 minutes. So it's a pretty short little split.
And do you have a deck in your system?
I don't. No. Most of the time, like I'll buy the cassette and I will listen to the digital format of it. So it's easier, more convenient, and sounds better. But the reason I do support the cassette medium is a lot of independent bands, especially this Throne of Iron, they were able to finance future recordings through the release of this demo and the attention that it got. So you're supporting physical media by these bands, even if it is a cassette. It helps them to later produce more music. So that's why I like to collect the cassettes, especially with like the Dungeons and stuff. That I don't really mind. That sounds pretty actually decent on cassette to me. It kind of adds to the atmosphere to it. So when I don't really care about the production, and I'll listen to it on cassette. So there you go.
Okay, cool. Denise is popping in saying she's in the road, but just popping by to say hi.
Hope she's okay.
Once she gets off the road, she will check the replay later. Thanks, Denise, for popping in. She's gonna stick around for a bit though. She's gonna get her bandy fill. Full bandy. Don't tune away. Kevin's up next, Denise. I apologize. He said he's going to be nice this week.
I've been on my best behavior.
Yeah.
Doesn't say much. Okay, yeah. Am I up? Am I doing? Matt,
it is
done?
you.
Okay.
I'm done. Yep. Just 2.
Well, I'm still working my way through the collection, and we're still in the C's. So next up is Alice Cooper. Now, my Alice Cooper collection's a little bit spotty. I do have Killer, but I showed that in a previous episode. So next I had Alice Cooper Goes to Hell.
That's a cover. Wow. Where does that sit in his discography?
You mean in terms of quality?
No, release date.
75? 76. 76. So, of course, I got the lyrics here.
I know I think I asked you this before, Kevin, but I Alice Cooper is something I like to listen to more of. I pretty much just know some of the hits, but where would you recommend someone who hasn't listened to Alice Cooper? Where would you recommend them starting?
Well, like the original band, Alice Cooper Band, is pretty good. I mean, it's hard to say. But yeah, you can start with there. They had like an early greatest hits album. You can start there, and then Welcome to My Nightmare is probably the most Alice Cooper band, Alice Cooper ish album that he's done. But yeah, any of the 70s stuff really is
all the 70s stuff's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, he really didn't start like he had some rough patches in his career. And speaking of which, here we go. So here's Flush the Fashion from 1980. And yeah, there you go.
Oh wow, is that him?
Yeah, it's him. So he had some drinking problems.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say a little substance abuse maybe.
Yeah, it's mostly alcohol with him. I don't think he ever got like on the smack or anything like that, but alcohol was definitely his drug of choice.
I was thinking I remember him talking about the H though.
Maybe I know alcoholic was his main problem. But this is actually it's a decent album. I kind of like it. It's not rock that like the hard rock stuff that you associate with him. It's more it's like a Cars album, really. It's like if you want to hear Alice Cooper do new wave pop, that's your album right there. Now I just picked those. I picked that up, and I'm missing one here. Oh yeah, this one.
Did that release turn off a lot of fans like that? Like the core group of fans, like he shifted influence and genre there a little bit?
It's hard to say because he's always toured very well and always drew a big crowd. So, I mean, he's not one of these guys that's had like tons and tons of hits. He's more of these guys that just has a hardcore fan base, and they go see his shows no matter what, because he puts on a great show. So, I mean, he so pretty much, and he kind of follows the trends of music as well. So, like the 70s stuff is like 70s hard rock. Then when you get into the early 80s is really the rough period where things kind of go off the rails. And then in the 80s, it's more of that hair metal style, you know. And then in the 90s, things get experimental again with more of the power metal and stuff like that. So really, I mean, it all depends on what you like, you know. Like I'm sure I have friends who are, you know, they just like 80s Alice Cooper, right? They don't really like the older stuff. There's some that just like, nope, the original band is it, and that's all I listen to. So he really, you know, has enough different styles there that you can kind of pick and choose what you like. So it's kind of a hard question to answer because I don't really know what would speak to you the most. Okay. You know. Yeah.
Have you seen his documentary, Matt Bandy?
No, I've seen a bunch of. No, I've seen a bunch of interviews with him, and he always does good interviews, and seems like an interesting guy. And you know, from what the 70s stuff that I've heard, you know, I liked. And my introduction to him, I think, as a kid was through Wayne's World, the Wayne's World movie.
Yeah.
And I liked that Feed My Frankenstein when I was a kid. I'm like, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's like the 80s stuff right there. You know?
He's so good. Very articulate and charming. That documentary is great. He has a radio show too, if you want to download some radio shows of his.
So this is another one I just picked up cheap. It's called Zipper Catches Skin. Oh. And I guess that's the zipper catching the skin. But then on the back, you ready for it?
Oh, we got nudity?
No.
Oh, dang it. Oh, wow.
The zipper catching the skin. So he's like, oh, the zipper caught the skin. Oh, that hurts.
Does he have lipstick on?
He's got something going on. It's very like that, I don't know, Devo kind of look or something with that
Yeah,
hair.
yeah, it does.
You know, the
That's-
David Bowie.
That's what, 'cause I've never seen him with short hair. I've
Yeah,
only
I
ever
mean-
seen him with long hair. That's funny.
He was definitely going for that vibe. This one isn't as good. It's got this. We've seen this a few times. This style.
Yeah.
It must have been some label that put those out. But they're anti-static. You know, they're good quality sleeves. So, but it's another one that's in good condition because, you know, it's hardly been played. But it was okay. It's not as good as the other one. Next is Special Forces. It says 2 for $40 on here, but I didn't pay 2 for $40 on that. I think can't remember how much I paid for this. But this is a reissue. This was Record Store Day maybe 2 years ago. And this is where it starts to get better. Got You Look Good in Rags, which is one of my favorite songs from his. And we got the blue vinyl. So sometimes Record Store Day is fun.
Yeah.
That's a good one. But you know, it kind of depends on, like, he still was having alcohol problems there. But, right, this was for Rocktober. That was the thing. Limited edition. And this is another one I picked up cheap. Raise Your Fist and Yell. There's a price on there. It says like $24, or $20, but I got these at there was like a pop-up vinyl show that was through my local record store, and they moved locations, and they opened up their old location for a while, and just had like, you know, random days where it would just be vendors in there, so like cheap albums, and I picked all these up for like $5. So here's the original insert sleeve in there.
Oh, it's so cool. That's good.
Yeah. This is like
that covers too. That's awesome.
Yeah, this is like the era of this is like the 80s hair metal era. Look at that thing on the back. That's like the cable trying to see the scramble channels. Bill would try to do that all the time. Watch the scramble channels. Not me though. I was always on the Christian channel myself. There you go.
That's how we got through the overnight shifts at work.
that's how some of them yeah. Anyways, yeah, it was good stuff. And then this is the latest one. This is from 2017, and this is a really good album. It's fantastic. I love it. I'm surprised that more people have talked about this one.
I heard that record getting a little bit of praise when that came out.
I really like it, and so it's a solo album, but part of it, the last 3 songs are his old band, the original Alice Cooper band. There were some songs that they had in the hopper, if you will, and they decided to pull it out and record them finally. Now this is a double, but if you recall last week when we were talking about full albums recorded at 45 speed, this is an full album that's recorded at 45 speed, which supposedly is better. And there you go. So yeah, I think you're supposed to put these two together because it's got the dual personality going, right? It's like that. My goodness.
Oh, nice.
Fight each other. They could just not like each other, you know. All sorts of ways you could play that Alice Cooper album. And I got one more.
You know, since they recorded that and put it on 2, they can also charge more for that record.
Yeah. It wasn't that expensive. But of course, that was like 3 years ago. Things have gotten a little crazy over the last 3 years. And this was a Matt Bandy, one of his favorites. It's a 10-inch.
Heyo.
He loves the 10 inches. This was only 20,000 copies, limited edition.
Only
20,000. Only.
Wow.
I know. Matt Bandy laughs at that because he's got like records they only made 10 of. I got one of 20,000. But he's been putting out like these small EPs lately, and I picked up the first one. That's this one, and then the last one he put out like it was like a COVID song or something, and I could just tell like all of these are just going to end up on an album at some point, you know. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to like keep buying these, but I got the first one, so I thought it was a one-time deal.
Oh, it's it's going to be like a little like a set of them.
I imagine there will be like it'll be on a full LP. Like all these will just end up on a full LP instead of all these little things to collect. So, but that's it. I also have Killer, but I showed that before. But that's pretty much it for my Alice Cooper.
Is that the one where he's in that like the leather jacket and kind of looking down?
Which one?
Is that the Alice Cooper record you just?
Killer?
What's the one where he's on the cover? Yeah.
Oh, no, it's a snake. It's like a
okay.
snake. It's red. It's all red. Yeah.
Okay. Good stuff. Like seeing the Alice Cooper stuff. Before I move on to Chris Roberts, I do have a story to tell because Kevin reminded me of when you were showing the two pictures, fighting each other. It reminded me of last week when we had Chris Roberts, and who was our special guest last week? We had a big time special guest. Who was that?
Some short guy.
Curtis from Girlfriend Versus. And they did the window thing where one was passing something to the other guy through the windows. Mm-hmm. And at work this week, we air a soap opera. So I'm forced to run a soap opera called The Bold and the Beautiful. And it's been in rerun for forever during this thing. But now they're back in production. But they are still required to isolate themselves within the production. So all the scenes, people walk into a room and they talk at each other from opposite ends of the room.
Yeah.
They have these over-the-shoulder shots that are so far away the other person is out of focus, or they do these 1-2 shots where it's this person in this frame and then the other person in the other frame. And they actually did this thing where they were going to have a drink. They had poured champagne, and the guy poured the champagne and then took the glass and went, "Here you go." And then the other person went, "Thank you."
Yeah. Sarah watches Y&R still, and they'll be in a restaurant, and they'll be the only two people in the restaurant just talking to each other. There's no waiter, no one behind the bar or anything like that. It's just two people in there talking.
It is horrible. I don't know how anyone could still be watching it. And it's just laughable to see how they're putting it together. It is so frustrating. It's like, hey guys, you could have called because you're standing a mile away from each other anyways. Yeah. No. I had to come over and lean on this couch and talk to you. Anyways.
I grew up watching The Bold and Beautiful. One of my I had a babysitter who watched that, so I watched it every single day for years as a kid.
Yeah,
my mother watched
2 episodes a day.
My mother was all about the All My Children's and One Life to Live and General Hospital. So I've seen way more episodes than I want to admit.
Yeah, we had to do that too. We had an afternoon of All My Children, then One Life to Live, and then I think something was on after that.
General Hospital.
I don't think we didn't have General Hospital personally, but
and you didn't know what you were missing.
No, yeah, because I think
General Hospital, Luke and Laura and
that's
Scorpio
right.
And
Scorpio.
Blackie. I remember that as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John Stamos.
That was always a big rating.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't afford that one.
Yeah.
Anyway,
horrible.
Chris Roberts, I'm glad you're here.
Thank you. I also have some tapes. I followed the Matt Bandy train to that website he tipped me off on, and they do very fast shipping. So I got this Tripton, or no, not Tripton, Trident. Tight. I don't know. I can't even. I can't read, man. Whatever the hell that
Triptodon.
There you go. Triptodon.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool, man. It's like basically listening to like the Terminator soundtrack, or just 80s sci-fi, something. But
he's got some other cool releases too. I think he's the guy from France, and all of his releases kind of have a theme to it. And They're
Yeah, really
along
cool.
those lines. Yeah.
I haven't listened to the cassette yet because I have to hook up a player, but I did listen to some of the YouTube tracks. They were really good. So finally, what's that?
Where did you shop for these?
On, was it Bandcamp? Is that the name
Yeah,
of
through
it?
Bandcamp.
Yeah, Bandcamp. It's some website Matt tipped me off to. He sent me the link to their YouTube, and it was really cool. So I followed that link to the website, and
Yeah, they cut like 3 different promo videos for all those releases, and
yeah, and I can't
they're
believe
pretty cool.
the video. The video is like watching a small movie. It was very impressive. I was like, dude, what was the budget on this shit? So pretty intense. So there's been a thrift store that hasn't been open during this the whole pandemic that's going on since California shut everything down. Even though all the other ones have opened up, but like, of course, my favorite one has been closed. And finally, they opened the other day. So I was just pretty much filling up a cart because it was pandemonium. Like, I couldn't get there when they opened. I didn't get there till around noon, and they opened at 10. So I already knew some of the good stuff, and it's usually where I get a lot of my horror VHS tapes because they don't filter anything. It's whatever they got. If it's expensive, it doesn't matter. They don't eBay check anything. They just put it on the shelves. I mean, video games and everything. I've had friends that's pulled out some pretty heavy stuff, GameCube lots and whatever. They don't know. They're not hip, or if they are, they don't care. They don't have the time for that shit. But so I usually go right to the VHS, and I don't have that stacked next to me, but I do have the tapes. And nothing, there's nothing crazy here, but every Monday is media day, so no matter what it is, it's half price. So if it's a movie, a DVD, a VHS, a video game, it's half off. So I got the Led Zeppelin 2 here. Boy, this is going to be a really bad reflection. Got the Zeppelin 2, which I'll probably never listen to it. I mean, I have the record, but
It's a good one.
well, I have the record, so
Oh,
I mean, I'll never listen to the cassette, but it is just kind of cool to have. And believe it or not, like these tapes are actually going up in value. I mean, they're nothing really crazy, but there are, some $100, $200 cassettes out there. It's insane, but this isn't one of them. And then, of course, I got this was his first album, MC Hammer. Let's Get It Started.
That's so good.
The funny thing is there was a guy he was one of the people who beat me in. And there's kind of like there's another area of the store where they have like the TVs and kind of like some basic electronics, but it's more open. So a lot of times I'll fill up a cart and then I'll go over there and then I'll check through to make sure everything's in it. Like if the movies or if I was on the fence about value wise, that's where I'll typically look stuff up. And he was doing the same thing, except he wasn't looking things up, but he was going through checking to make sure and just kind of like hemming and hawing about what he wanted. And I was looking in his cart, man. It's like, oh, dude, he had some dope ass albums. He had like 3 different Jefferson Airplane, and I mean, he had a stack of like about that big of all classic rock. It's really cool stuff. He even had that Black Sabbath album I wanted, so I was pretty bummed. But he had a stack of cassettes too. Now they were all the old like hip hop cassettes have gone up a lot in value. This isn't one of them. This is probably about a $3 tape. But I was looking, so I started making conversation. I was like, hey, if there's anything you don't want in that pile over there, just let me know. I mean, I have no pressure. I don't, I'm not gonna be a vulture or anything. And so at the end, he kind of threw me a bone, and he had the 2 MC Hammer tapes, and he's like, go ahead, choose one. So I was like, yeah, I mean, I already had the other one, so I was like, yeah, okay. And then the other cassettes are just kind of like girly cassettes. Got a Pretty in Pink here, which just kind of cool collector wise, might go up. And just Cyndi Lauper and Madonna. But I'll probably bundle these later in maybe like an 80s cassette bundle. But I also went through the CDs, and I did get a pretty good stack of CDs. And I'll just go through those real quick. I got the Let It Be, which is, I mean, these were all like just really clean. They actually, that's the other thing the guy had. He got all the Beatles that were there. There was every album, but I mean on CD. He actually got 3 of vinyl. That was 3 of the albums he had, and I was like, oh man, I was pretty bummed out. But he left some behind, so I did get a few. Got a couple of Rage Against the Machines. Got this one here with a dude on fire, and this one here with some nerdy dude on the cover. But you know, it's all the hits, and
those are both great.
yeah, they are. They're good. And you know, the thing about it is, like, I have most of the stuff already, you know, digitally downloaded, but I went through a phase where I was probably cleaning out the iPod a little bit, and I know I can just get these on Spotify or whatever, but it's just kind of nice just to kind of have them, you know, I could just put these on and, you know, hear the whole album, I guess. I got Ozzy Osbourne, No More Tears. I'm not quite sure this is the top of his game, but I mean, if you like,
that's a fan. That's fantastic.
You
that's
like Mama, I'm Coming Home? I've heard that thing so many fucking times, man.
Yeah, that one's a little overplayed, but the rest
No More Tears. I mean,
that's awesome. I love that song.
Is No More Tears? Is that the In the Bush? In the Bush.
Yep.
In the Bush.
No, it's a great song, but our rock station has played those 2 songs so many times. But I mean, I'm looking forward to the rest of the album, to be honest. I just saw those and I was just like, okay, well, I know the time frame. I don't know the rest of the album, but
the whole thing's great. The first song is about pedophilia.
Well, I'm gonna get that one on right away. Yeah, Mr. Tinker Train.
And then Zombie Stomp, it's just bass going on for like 12 minutes, and then they finally start the song. It's good times.
Well, hey, man, well, I appreciate that. So I didn't do wrong. I mean, all these were $0.25 a piece, these CDs, too. The CDs and the cassettes are both 50 cents a piece. And then, of course, on Media Day, they're $0.25. I got Momentary Lapse here. If I can get the Pink Floyd. Here's one I thought about for you, Kevin. I mean, I'm sure you already have it, but, you know, you came to mind. I had the AC/DC Let There Be Rock.
Yep, fantastic album.
I already have a few of these actually because I pick them up usually when I see them at yard sales but you know, it's never mind. I figure at some point people will just want them sitting on the shelf and they'll buy them. And then ironically, because you just picked this up, right, Kevin, on vinyl? This or maybe you just had it in your collection. You showed it a few weeks ago or last week. So this weird Led Zeppelin with this weird, or somebody showed it. Yeah. All right, Bill. Sorry, Bill. I forgot about you, Bill. Sorry, buddy.
But I do have that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, of course you do.
Kevin show.
You got all the good stuff. Hey. And then just a few more rock. I got the Black Album, Metallica, which, you know, at this point I'm just filling the cart, and Billy Idol, Rebel Yell. This, I remember really loving this as a kid. I mean, I still like it. There's a lot of good hits on here, but you know. And then this was actually Mars approved, which I was surprised. It's Cypress Hill.
Yep.
I did not think you would be a Cypress Hill listener.
I love them.
Okay.
I only know the one song, Insane in the Membrane.
Well, that's okay. I mean, you got to start somewhere.
Well, they do have one song on the Last Action Heroes soundtrack that I like too.
Oh, yeah. I used to listen to that soundtrack all the time.
I'm a chicken hawk hunting for a chicken. And
there you go.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's funny. I'm so, yeah.
That's the only line I know. It's good.
And then the last.
Annoyed when you hear my Glock clicking.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, you got to have your Glock. I think they've changed their brand. I don't think they carry Glocks as much anymore in the rap game. Anyway, and then the last one was Dr. Dre 2001, which wasn't Mars approved. This is a great album, Kevin.
I don't know who Dr. Dre is.
What?
I've heard the name, and he's got shoes or earbuds or something.
Well, he's got
Headphones.
the Beats by Dre, but before that, he used to be in way before that, he was in NWA. He actually started in an R&B group, the World Class Wrecking. Well, the World Class Wrecking Crew is where he started, but then he went into NWA, which, you know, the N, you can figure out what that means, and With Attitude, and I had Ice Cube and Eazy. What's that?
Is that wrestling? NWA?
No, they actually had the NWA was a wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance. That was a territory in the north, in the southeast of the Carolina area, but the NWA was a rap group, and I think you're just joking, but You know,
Yeah. I've heard of them.
just in case, you know, Denise wonders who the NWA was. This was a great album, though. Honestly, you should listen to this. I think you would like it.
What's
Is
it
that
called? Dr. Dre's what?
This is it's 2001. It's I believe it has a subtitle called The Chronic 2, I believe, but basically it's just 2001. And
Okay.
it's got, if nothing else, I don't know. I mean, I know you're more of a rock guy, but I actually liked this so much. When I was in college at the time, we had to do two like verbal reports on artists. So one, you wanted to pick, you had to pick a great song, and one, you had to pick a great album. And at the time, I was really into this album, but I knew I couldn't like play. And also it had to link into classical music, and it's a lot of classical like violins and stuff. There's a lot of shit like that on this album. You know, obviously they're sampled and stuff like that, I believe, but nonetheless. So I bought the just the instrumental version just so I could play it in the classroom. And I remember the guy gave me a B on it, and I thought it was a very thorough report. So I questioned him on why he did that. And he started giving me all these reasons why he gave me that. And so I would counter with, no, I covered that. He was telling me about, you know, I don't know, posing my argument, defending my argument and all that. So I really pinned him down. I was like, you just don't like this kind of music, right? And he goes, well, I just don't think it's real music. And I was like, well, then just be honest, man. You just don't like the music I chose. The other one was the Beatles. I mean, why couldn't you? He goes, well, that's why you got to be. And I was like, oh, okay. Okay, fair enough. So anyway, there you go.
Yeah. I got a story like that too. And I remember in high school, I had a religion course. Yes, took religion and had to. And I remember it was like one of the first days or something. The teachers put out this assignment. I just want you to do like a little autobiography report just about yourself. No pressure. We just want to know about you. I'm not going to grade it on spelling, punctuation, anything like that, as long as you tell me about yourself. And so I did it, handed it in, and I got a B on it. I'm like, was my life not exciting enough if it's not graded on anything? What? Anyways, what can you do? Religion.
Well, seeing Chris's Let There Be Rock bill, it reminded me, have you listened to that expanded White Stripes set that you got last week yet?
The expanded White Stripes set.
I can't say the title of that album. It's D somethings.
Oh, yeah, I have listened to it.
Did you hear that they cover Let There Be Rock?
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Right.
It's pretty good. I think it's on the live concert too, like the DVD as well, or the Blu-ray.
Oh, is
whatever's
it?
on
I haven't checked out the DVD yet, but I was listening to the album today, and it was that and Dog Eat Dog. Pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's pronounced Day Steel, isn't it?
Day Steel? I don't know. It's the pronunciation on Wikipedia is STERL. I think that's an R. Die Stierl. I don't.
It's Dutch.
Whatever
it is.
Yeah.
Well, so I will continue, and I'm a little disappointed that Chris Roberts didn't lead me into 45s as promised from last week.
No.
That was going to be my ending. I'm going to end with my 45s.
Okay. Well, I'm excited. Very good. I'm excited to bring you some 45s today. So, like I said, I had, and I've talked about this before, this stack that's been in my garage for probably 8 years, maybe something like that. And I just picked them up at a yard sale because I know that when people buy jukeboxes and stuff, they need 45s like this. They don't care if it's in, all papered up and sleeved properly. They just want stacks of 45s. So I think I got it for like $5 and just threw it in the garage and never actually put it up for sale or anything like that. So I grabbed those. We're going to go through those. That'll be exciting. But I do have some 45s that are actually in the house, even though I don't collect 45s. But so what is actually in the house? Like this. And this was a record store day pickup. Geez, maybe maybe 7 years ago, something like that. And it was just because it was sitting on the shelf, and I think it was only like $14 or something, or maybe less than that. Maybe it was even less. So I just grabbed it. It's got Meg on there. She's holding Jack's cock and balls or something. I don't know. Well, it's called handspring. So she's got a ball and a spring and something else there. It's nice. Got a little. It's got a little poly on there, and it's got a sleeve inside.
Oh, red.
Yeah, look at that.
Ooh, clear.
Fancy. I think I've only listened to this once. It's got a bit of some kind of burst through it too. I don't know if you can pick that up.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's been sitting in a cabinet here in the basement for a long time. Let's see if there's anything else in there. Nope. Again, that was just wicked cheap. Otherwise, I wouldn't get a 45. I just don't collect 45s. However, we still have, and I don't know why this was on top of my records. And maybe you can see by the dust on it, it's not really played, but it was inside.
Madonna.
I think I saw some value there. So,
what's on the other side?
No More Words
Berlin.
by Berlin.
Two different artists. That's something.
Produced by John Jellybean Bennett for Jellybean Productions. I don't know. It's from 85, the Madonna track. And the Berlin one is from 84. And then, why was this inside? This will be going back out with the other ones.
Oh, Toto.
Nice.
Some Toto.
Toto's good times.
I'll Be Over You by
know
Toto on the other side.
I don't know.
How about this? Do you guys know who Joey Scarberry is? Joey Scarberry.
Yeah, you do a show with him every week.
Well, I did watch this guy's Where This Appeared, the show that this appeared every single day as a kid when it was on. And he did the theme for Greatest American
nice.
Hero.
Cool.
So when I saw that on 45, I had to get it. It's in super rough shape. It's got some scratches on it or something.
Yeah,
What's on the B-side?
Little condition.
This is B-side is some more Joey Scarberry, because you know all his other hits, right?
Yeah.
Like That Little Bit of Us. I wonder if that's on the Greatest American Hero soundtrack as well. From 81. So yeah, that's cool. Okay, here we go. We got some ZZ Top.
Hey. Yeah.
Not focusing. Bad Girl.
Bad Girl. Yep. That's a good one. On the
What's on
Eliminator
other
album.
side here? Oh, it's from Eliminator. Oh, here you go. The Eliminator gets a little too electronic sounding for me.
No, that's good. It's all good.
The Car albums get a little too electronic. Oh, maybe I showed this before, or did I show something similar? It's a stereo performance evaluator. Test your stereo system.
You showed
cool.
the quadraphonic one before.
Oh, okay. So this is like a little 45 version. I kind of remember showing this. Because even though this is a 45, it's still at 33 1/3.
Oh.
Anyways, it's from 79 from Ampex. And finally, the last of the 45s to be actually in the house. Sharing my space is a little bit of Bag in Black
Very nice.
on Atlantic. What's on the other side here?
What do you do for money, honey?
Producer.
Mutt Lang.
Yepper. There you go. It's in good shape. So yeah, that's it for my personal 45s. And I'll just start off with a few from the pile here. We don't have to spend too much time on them. Unless something fun comes up. I really have no idea what's in here. Do you guys know Wilson Pickett?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
In the
It's a great
Midnight
song.
Hour?
What's the B-side on that?
For better or worse.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Well, here's another good one from older band, Herman's Hermits.
Oh yeah.
You know that song.
The
I'm
Naked
into
Gun.
something good. And your hand in mine. And ooh, look at this. Got some Yardbirds. 10 years time ago. It's got written by Beck. And what? Oh, what's
Psycho
Matt Bandy's
Daisy.
getting excited for something.
Well,
Psycho Daisies, the Yardbirds.
look who showed up.
Just some good-looking dude showing up. It's good to have you. Thanks for joining us. No, introduction not necessary. We are familiar.
He wants to know if you have the gold 45 from the James Bond movie.
He has the gold 45 from the James Bond movie.
Oh, he has it. Okay.
That's impressive. More Yardbirds. Over, under, sideways, down. And
I think I saw Peter North do that one time.
That's a good song.
Is it? I don't recognize it. You have to sing it for me. And Jeff's
Jeff's
Boogie.
Yeah, I know that one too.
That's got to be Jeff Beck on that, right?
Correct.
These are written by all the dudes. All of them get credit on here.
Yeah, well, they all
Which is
got a
nice.
piece of the pie.
We got the Trogs. This might be
nice.
good stuff. Maybe I should be keeping
Wild
this.
Thing? Oh, yeah, you
Wild
should keep
Thing.
those for sure.
Wow. You got to get yourself a
And-
jukebox now.
What does this say?
From home.
From home on Fontana Records. Well, if you guys want to donate a jukebox, no problem. I will accept it. Product of Stone and Associates. Oh, look at this. Wow. Why were these in the garage?
Oh, nice. Hell yeah.
The Spencer Davis Group. I'm a Man.
It's a great song.
And what do we got here? I can't get enough of it. Steve Winwood.
That would be a hit. I think I used to have that 45. I played that one quite a bit.
Jeez. Hey, I'm going to take bids for this, guys. Let's start off at $50 for this stack of 45s. Check this out.
8 cents shipped.
The Monkees, I'm a Believer. Written by my man, Neil Diamond.
Oh, Stepping Stone. That's a
I'm
great
Not
song.
Your Stepping Stone.
That's a great song. My buddy Curtis used to play that a bunch when we would DJ. That's a good song.
Look at this. And then we got Paul Revere and the Raiders featuring Mark with Undecided Man on that side. And I'm trying to get through this without being distracted by the chat too much. Good thing, Paul. This would be a pretty cool jukebox, guys. You gotta admit that. So far.
Get one.
Ooh. Okay, I'll show you what's wrong with this one off the top.
You might still play.
This is, I don't know what this is. Theme from Ben Casey. Valjean on piano. I don't know what that is. Any idea?
No, both sides?
Second side, theme from Dr. Kildare.
That was a TV show.
Was it?
Yeah. Ben Casey was a TV show too.
I put my hand here to focus. Valjean on piano. Double 69. Just a couple more. Just a couple more before we move on here. MacArthur Park.
Left the cake out in the rain. Kind of matches your shirt.
What is this? From the Dunhill LP. Richard Harris. Anyone know what that is?
MacArthur Park? The song?
MacArthur Park, yeah.
Oh, MacArthur Park. I know MacArthur Park. Someone left the cake out in the rain.
I don't know what that is. Other side. It's the Dunhill LP, whatever the Dunhill LP is. A
Nope.
Tramp Shining. Richard Harris. Maybe it's the Sir Richard Harris on here doing something. And oh yeah, okay. No, I got to save this one. This goes with there's good stuff at the very end of this. I peeked ahead to see what's at the end of the 45s. There's some really good stuff.
Cheater.
Oh, off Bang Records.
Neil?
The McCoys. I don't know who the McCoys are. You Make Me Feel So Good. I know that song. You guys know that song. You Make Me Feel So Good.
Keep singing it.
I know Dick Butts actually sang that in a movie once. Never Should Have Run Away by the McCoys. Don't know that one. Ooh. You guys know that one. Sunshine on My Shoulders by John Denver. Orchestra version. And John Denver, Around and Around on the B-side. And I'll stop here with Quality Records. This is Barb's record. It's a song called Scarecrow from
Poor souls.
John Moran. Poor Souls. I don't know. Barb liked it enough to put her name on it. That's the B-side. Looking Round. Poor Souls.
59, probably some like doo-woppy sounded thing.
Not too sure, but there you go. That's the first half of the 45 stack for today's show. Man, am I ever going to get to opening up the new records? Maybe not. I'll save that for
Poor
next
Beach
week.
Boys. We'll never see those guys.
Okay, everything's good. All right, moving on. Matt Bandy.
Okay, we're gonna get into my theme today.
Ooh, right.
So, my theme today is gonna be gateway albums to getting people into mostly like metal stuff. So this happened with my son recently. He's always liked more like classic rock. He likes Black Sabbath, likes Iron Maiden, but this he had been listening to this artist called Daniel Tidwell, and he does heavy metal versions of like video game soundtrack stuff. It's actually really good, and I recommend you checking it out. But I told him, if you like this, you might like this other band. So I showed him album by At the Gates called Slaughter of the Soul. At the Gates are a Swedish melodic death metal band. This came out in 1996, and I still can't believe that this record came out in 96 because it doesn't sound like it came out in 96. This record is definitely aged very well. And so many bands of the 2000s ripped off or took influence from this band here. This is a essential record if you like more extreme heavy metal. And I showed my son this on, I believe, on Saturday, and he went out of his way and started listening to it on his own and is getting into it. So it was kind of a proud dad moment for me. So this kind of looks like it's on yellow here, but it's more of a orangish album, and it kind of again matches the cover here. But yeah, so At the Gates, this was a definite change in their sound. This was it kind of termed this the Gothenburg sound, which is from Gothenburg, Sweden, and they changed their guitar tone and a lot of the recording process to this, and a lot of bands, especially from Sweden, after that, just kind of took that sound and went with it. And so this was a hugely influential record. I still can't believe this came out in 96. It Yeah, it's wild. Actually, 95. This came out. Yeah. Any of you guys heard this at all?
No.
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 How old is your son?
My son is 11.
11.
Just turned 11. And I was definitely not listening to melodic death metal when I was 11 years old. But that being said, this is definitely a little bit more, because it's good songwriting and it's melodic. So this is a good gateway record to more extreme heavy metal. Let's see. I'll show this one. You guys might know by a band called The Sword. Familiar with this at all? Anybody?
No. I like
Did
the
you ever-
cover, though.
Yeah. It's got a nice gatefold with a wintry scene on the back here. Did you guys ever play Guitar Hero?
Of course.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
on one of the Guitar Hero, it was like Guitar Hero 2 or 3, I believe the song Freya was on one of those. So after that came out, they kind of got that band a lot more exposure. But The Sword played like kind of stoner, kind of very 70s influences, but with kind of a little bit doomier. But this is just really heavy, big riffs. And I think actually both of you guys, Kevin, or you too, Chris, and would like this. But this came out in 2006. But this is another good kind of gateway band for getting into a little bit more extreme. You got your A side. Oop, and your B side here. You got your band. And we haven't had any nudity yet.
Uh-oh.
So there you get some boobs.
Yeah.
Even if it's drawn.
There.
Very
You
nice.
just got to
Still
let it-
counts.
Still counts.
Hey, breaking news real quick. The Raptors just won on a winner take all 3-point shot, man. It was fucking something to see. They had missed a shot, they lose the game and go down 3-0 in the series, and they make it. Now the series is 2-1. Anyways, go ahead. Back to the records.
Yeah.
Go
So
Raptors.
this was kind of my when I started kind of dipping my toe into a little more like doomier type stuff, a little bit more of the stoner feel into my heavy metal. So this was kind of a gateway record for me. They've since put out a couple other records. I actually have their second record here. The name of that record was called Age of Winters, by the way. And this is called Gods of the Earth. This was their second record. Got a nice gatefold here. This came out in 2008. This record here is another very accessible record. This is a single, just on black vinyl. But after this record, their sound changed a little bit. They went a little bit more spacey kind of sounding. But these first two records are good. What we got in here? What's hiding in there? Okay, we got a download code here. I'll put that up there. I'm not sure if this is still accessible. I know I definitely did not download this. I didn't even know it was in there. So if anyone wants this, take a screenshot of it, and there you go. It's yours.
You only get that here on the vinyl show.
Subscribe.
Hit like, comment, tell your mom.
Yeah, so I think you guys would like this. Let's see what else we got.
Hey, Rocket Toss is joining us. He's right underneath our good friend Peter North in the chat.
Very nice.
Nice. So here I would say is a good, this is a record that came out last year by a band called Worm Witch. This would be a good gateway or a good introduction into black metal. Black metal is definitely not an easy, accessible music genre for most people, especially even in the extreme metal community. A lot of people you still don't get into it, but this combines black metal elements with a little bit more punky, D-beat feel to it. So this is a good gateway into black metal. And this Heaven That Dwells Within is the name of this record. This definitely got a lot of play for me last year. It's on a pretty cool, clear splatter.
Neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got the dude fighting a three-headed dragon. That's always good. Medieval myth and magic. That's cool. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's
I could also make a photocopy of that and maybe color that too, Kevin.
That'd be a cool shirt, man.
Yeah.
Cut
That
that
would
out. Send it to T Public.
So yeah, this was another band that I had discovered on Banger's Metal Monthly show. They do a monthly review show of underground releases that are being put out. This is out on Prosthetic Records. Don't know much about that label, but yeah, if you've never really listened to black metal and are interested in kind of this genre, this is a good kind of an easy listen for the genre.
Matt Bandy, you've probably explained it to me before.
Mhm.
What makes metal black?
Oh, it's just a subgenre. So you have like a first wave of black metal, which it's like a very primitive, lo-fi, low production, at least in the early days of black metal. So you have bands coming out of England like Venom, and then you have from Sweden Bathory. Those are like some of the first wave of black metal. It was the early mid 80s, and it was just really raw and primitive production sound. And then later in the 90s, you have what's referred to as a second wave of black metal, which was a kind of response to the death metal scene and people wanting a more primitive sound of heavy metal. So they were tired of like the polished kind of slick production, everything kind of sounding the same coming out of heavy and extreme metal. So it was just like a reaction to that. It was very primitive and raw sounding, and that was I'm not sure why they call it black metal. There was a Venom record called Black Metal, but that's not really the.
Which one do you prefer?
I'm sorry, what?
Which one do you prefer, the early black metal or the later black metal?
Well, see, even within black metal, it's like it's branched out and become its own. There's like there's like raw black metal, there's symphonic black metal, there's pagan black metal. So there's all these different. So it's under like, but it's under on one umbrella. But I prefer the more atmospheric black metal or the like mid 90s second wave stuff. So that's what I like.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Worm Witch. And I'll go ahead and show this record. This isn't really, well, I guess this is a good gateway record. Yeah, for sure. For people that don't really listen to heavy metal. There's a band called Ghost. Anybody familiar with Ghost on the show here? Okay, good.
I've never listened to them, but I understand that they're like, they started off as a bit of a parody band, and then they kind of people started taking them seriously. So they
Well, kind of not so much a parody band, but it was more like they were all anonymous. Like there was the lead singer who was it's eventually come out like who was in the band and who the singer is, and they were from Sweden, and they played in other bands, heavy metal extreme bands in Sweden. That was originally all that was known about this band, but they were all the musicians were just called the Nameless Ghouls, and they had depending on the record was they had all kind of the same outfit on, and their faces were obscured. They wouldn't name their faces on the liner notes or even when they played shows. They all were in costumings that you couldn't see who they were, but they so it was kind of gimmicky in that sense, and had kind of a big production show too. But this record is definitely more the heavier or the more rooted in traditional like heavy metal in this record here. But a good way to describe Ghost is that they are pop songs disguised as heavy metal songs. So they're just really catchy tunes, and they have since become hugely popular. I was good. Their first 3 records, I think, are really good. After that, they definitely jumped the shark for me, and I did not like the record, and I'm kind of out now on this band. But the first 3 records are great. Even within like the heavy metal community, they kind of got like there's a kind of a split between people thinking that there's kind of a poser band, or just because they got popular, they're not cool. It's not cool to listen to Ghost. But this first record here is great. Even all the first 3 records are excellent. They're super catchy and just really very good songwriting. But this was the first record that came out on Metal Blade and Rise Above Records. So gatefold here. And I believe this is on like a blue and white split.
like a blue Pokemon ball.
There you go.
Ooh. The blue and white cookie.
Yeah. Now, when you say they're pop songs disguised as metal, like original pop songs or covers?
No, they're just like they're a heavy metal band, but they're like pop songs because of how catchy and how well written they are. They're a heavy metal band disguised as a pop band is another good way to, almost like a modern day Kiss kind of. But yeah, it's I don't like Kiss either, but so with every record they changed their appearance up. There was like a new, so the Papa Emeritus was like the singer in the first release. He was like in this Pope garb, and then they change every record. But yeah, their stage shows were pretty outlandish. But the first 3 records are good, and this is a great gateway record for someone who doesn't really listen to heavy metal to kind of get into more heavy stuff. This is actually one of the pricier records that I own. This is, I think, close to 3 digits now. But because when this originally came out, it was on Rise Above Records, and that was a pretty, it's pretty limited stuff. But then they I think had since got picked up by a major label now.
Cool. Next week, Matt Bandy, you'll have to show up with a big whiteboard, and I want to see the whole flow of black metal through the years and how it intertwines with everyone else. Get your yarn out and tie it from one thing to another.
I could direct you to a great video by that is on YouTube by Fenris, who is the one of the songwriters and guitarist and drummers for a Norwegian black metal band called Dark Throne, who I've talked about on the show. But he's got a great video on kind of the history of black metal and where it took its influences from. And it's in a lecture hall, and he has these chalkboards that he basically writes out all these bands and how each band influenced to what became black metal. It's a great video, even if you're not really into it. But he's such a historic figure in that scene, and his knowledge of music, all music, is amazing, and he's a fun guy to listen to. So that's a cool video.
Yeah, send the link. Throw
Sure.
it on under this on the twits. All right, Kevin. How you gonna follow up that big bandy?
Well,
That was
I
a big
think
Manny. Sorry.
I got something that I think Matt's gonna like. I think this is gonna be up his alley here.
Let's see, what letter are we on?
We're still on C.
C.
We
Okay.
just did Cooper.
C.
Now we're on another CO band.
Corrosion of Conformity.
You are correct, sir. Nailed it.
Nice.
So I got this is America's Volume Dealer. This is their third album with Pepper Keenan. Yeah, third. Well, fourth. 'Cause this is their third one with him as the lead singer. I'd love to get the other two that came before this, but they're pretty difficult to get. But I found this.
That's from that weird early '90s where they weren't putting stuff on vinyl.
Right. Yeah, and this is from 1999, and it's a reissue, I believe, from 2000. It says 2014. So it's
Would have been Wise Blood and Deliverance. Were those the first two
Yeah,
with
those-
Pepper? Yeah.
right when he took over the band, basically.
Yeah, that band has gone through they originally started off as a punk rock band,
right.
and then went to the crossover thrash, and then they kind of turned into a stoner rock band.
Stoner
so.
rock, yeah.
Mhm.
Well, basically they were a punk band for a long time. Then they got Pepper Keenan in there, and he wasn't the lead singer, but he did sing on one of the songs on the album before Deliverance. I'm blanking on the name of it, but
It was
anyways,
either Wise Blood or Animosity.
I can't remember the name.
Or
of it. It doesn't matter. Anyways,
Okay, yeah.
the song that he sung on that album became the MTV hit. It's the one that they played on MTV. And so then for the next album, the record label basically said, look, give him the band if you want to continue to have a band, if you want to continue to be on the label. So they basically got rid of their lead singer, and then he took over the band. But then Pepper Keenan, he was never really comfortable singing, so he would kind of leave the band and go do stuff with Down and other groups. And while he was gone, they'd get their old lead singer back, and that's why the band just keeps moving around back and forth. I'm a fan of the Pepper Keenan stuff, so that's what I have, except for the previous two. So I have America's Volume Dealer. This came out in '99, and this is probably the most poppiest album that they ever did. You can definitely tell that they were trying to have more of a radio hit with this one, but it is
Actually, I've never listened to that record.
it's good.
Yeah.
Just stream it on Spotify or whatever, and it is good times. But yeah, I bought this in Montreal a couple of years ago, and was really happy with it. It is a double because it's an album from the '90s, and those were all super long, so you got to have a double album to fit all the music on there. But carpet matches the drapes, Matt Bandy.
Oh, nice. There you go.
And so originally, when this was on CD, this was the CD label, and if you had one of those clear CD players, it would spin really fast and look really cool. At 33 1/3, it spins, but it doesn't it doesn't hypnotize you as much. But it's kind of cool that they still put it there on the label for everyone to see. So the other record's the exact same thing. It's just another gray one. I'm not going to pull that one out. It's in fantastic condition. So the next one I got is In the Arms of God. Now this one's a little darker. Got some Matt Bandy style of artwork on there.
That's their original logo.
Yeah.
What was your introduction to corrosion and conformity? Mine was Deliverance. That was the first record I heard.
Yeah. Well, it was the Black Sabbath. Getting the score here. Nuggets 10, something 11. It was the Black Sabbath tribute album.
Okay, yeah.
Nativity in Black. They did a cover of Lord of this World on there. Loved it. And then Deliverance was like the next album that they came out with. So grabbed that, and it was so Sabbathy. So this one, the carpet doesn't match the drapes, but it is red.
Oh, nice.
Red. Woo. Now, I don't know if you could see this. Let's see if the... Can you see, like, look, see the light there? See that little scratch there? That little
big freaking scratch.
Yeah. Yeah. This side was okay, but this side was, yeah, you can see a scratch up top there too. So, again, I bought this in Montreal. I got it home, and there was like this black schmegma, like just tiny little particles on there. And I tried to clean them off as much as possible, but it was also scratched. And I think it's a manufacturing default. But
does it play okay?
No.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah, I was really bummed out about it. But I bought it in Montreal. I bought it in like a store, but and I didn't notice it until I got it home. And I wasn't going to drive all the way back out there. And unfortunately, too, like I went in there. This was a store in Montreal. I can't remember the name of it, but I remember where it is. So I will go back there though, because Sarah and I were picking up stuff, and like he had a ton of Motorhead stuff there that I'd never seen before and whatever. So I picked up just a ton of stuff, and I said, Sarah, this is it. Like this is the end of our trip. We're gonna buy the stuff here, and that's it. And we had about over $300 worth of stuff. I was adding it up in my head. So I bring it up to the counter, and I just look at Sarah. I'm like, it's going to be over $300. She's like, okay, that's it. But yeah, as long as it's the last one. And the guy looks at the stack of everything, and I had these corrosion and conformity albums in there, which he had $40 a piece on them. And he looks at the stack and he goes, $150. I'm like, okay. And it was $150, no tax or anything. Oh. So I'm like, we're definitely going back there if we ever go to Montreal again. But unfortunately, yeah, this was the only album that was that had a problem, and it's definitely a manufacturing thing.
Yeah, I've had a few records over the years that have had some manufacturing defects, but luckily it doesn't happen too often.
And I wonder too, because the records were packaged. See, it even has like this is what it was. It was like the sticky. Oh, it just came off
on the outside, and you think they kind of rub together.
Well, yeah. See, so when they put the record, like when I opened it up, the records were in here, like in here in the gatefold.
Yeah, that's actually a good way to ship the records to avoid, especially when you're mailing them, to avoid any seam splits.
Okay.
Like, on here. So like this record I think so you can kind of see this. You see that there over the dwells? Yeah. So when this record was shipped to me, this wasn't shipped on the outside like this. So if you're going to ship a record, ship it like this. So because I've quite a few records that come with the seam split because of the record shifting in there. That's why you do that. So that's a pro tip for you.
There's one guy I watch on YouTube. He actually puts his record when he stores his records. He doesn't put them in the sleeves. He stores them on the
outside. I have a good buddy who does that too, but I don't.
Yeah, I don't either. But the second disc was in beautiful shape to make it. So it was just that one record on that one side. I just had some weird stuff on it that ended up scratching the record, and
that sucks.
Yeah.
Does it pop, or is it just doesn't play? It'll full on just
it pops, and then when it gets to the scratches, like you can hear them, that pops as well, and then sometimes it'll actually move the needle or the stylus. Sorry, move it because my player doesn't put very much weight on the record player, so it doesn't take much to get it moving. And then this was their latest one.
Nice.
This one I picked up when it came out.
That was end of last year, I think. It's fairly recent.
It's a couple of years now.
Is it?
2018. 2018.
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Okay.
I know, time flies. Right? And that's not ring wear. That's like the fake ring wear on there, which is kind of
Yeah.
cool. But then it's like, you know, I don't know if I want to, like, I try to keep my records look nice so they don't get ring wear. And then these guys, they just put the ring wear right on there.
Should I be looking into these dudes or what?
I think you dig them. If you bought a sleep record, you would probably dig this.
I would definitely pick up Deliverance and start there. That's like their most Sabbathy record. And see, they put their. This was a really nice setup where they give you those inserts and then they put it in a anti-static one. And what was it? Oh yeah, these are just black. Just black, but you know, good stuff. I'd say the later two, Bill, I don't think you would be into as much, but definitely Deliverance, Wise Blood, and America's Volume Dealer. They're the more what's the word? For the casuals.
Yeah.
You know, they're not as hardcore.
A gateway, a good gateway.
Yeah. And then this stuff, I think there's some really good stuff on these ones too, but they're definitely more for the hardcore. And I'll just show one more before I leave. This is just an Elvis Costello album that I picked up.
Nice.
Just this one. And what the heck did this sound like? It sounded like Bill will know this band and he'll hate them. But it sounded like you guys won't know it, 80s Blue Rodeo. Like I'm listening to it, I'm like, man, this sounds like a lot like Jim Cuddy, which are kind of like a country pop band, sort of, in a way. But got your lyrics in there.
I like Elvis Costello.
Yeah, it's not like the 70s
New wavy stuff.
New wavy stuff. Yeah, it's definitely, you know, and there was a ton of loaded with songs, like a ton of songs on there.
Yeah, there's a bunch of track lists there. Oh wow.
Yeah. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It's pretty good. I found it I was at a thrift store, and it said Elvis Costello on it. And I'm looking at it. I'm like, man, I didn't recognize a single song on here. And even after I listened to it, I don't know any of these songs. But I enjoyed it. All right, that's it.
Neato. Is that your only Elvis Costello album?
That's it. That's all I have on vinyl. I have the one with Pump It Up on it. Next year's model. I have that on CD. I believe that's it.
What's the one with it's like an elephant on the front?
Don't know. I don't really know that much about Elvis Costello.
I used to listen to a lot more like Elvis Costello and Nick Lowe and more of that kind of power pop stuff.
Yeah.
You ever listen to Nick Lowe?
No.
It's good. You'd like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like Blue Rodeo's fine if they're playing at the county fair you're at. Yeah, you might as well stop and listen. They're fine.
Yeah, I mean, they're another band where they play like, you know, their 3 or 4 songs over and over and over again on the radio. They're CanCon, you know, so it's like that's Canadian content. So the Canadian government basically forces the radio stations to play Canadian content because we're so close to America. Like no Canadian band would actually have a chance if they didn't do that. So it makes sense on one level, and then but they don't play enough variety. Like they play the same 4 Neil Young songs over and over again. You know, meanwhile the guy's got like a huge catalog. And Blue Rodeo is the same thing. They got tons of music, they got tons of songs, but they just keep playing those same ones over and over again. You get tired of them.
Alrighty, so we're moving on to Chris Roberts if he's ready.
Yeah, why not?
All right.
So last week I was doing my unboxing of the 45s I've never looked at, and I'll just finish them up.
Yay.
Shouldn't take too long. I think there's about 20 of them here, but I'll just power through them. And again, I've never seen
non-explosive 45s.
Yeah. So first one will be Queen. We Are the Champions with We Will Rock You. So that's pretty cool. A little played out, cool. But it's a great song. And I don't know why I notice a theme on these. They like to write the date on them, which I just don't understand. But we got The Legs by ZZ Top. Of course, you have to know it was in 1984, in case you weren't aware.
Actually, that album came out in 83, though. That's weird.
I don't know. Maybe they bought it in 84. I don't know.
I think so.
What's the B-side track?
Bad Girl.
Okay, so that's the one you got, Bill. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's got the sleeve.
I got the dope sleeve, except mine has the wrong here on it, but at least I have the sleeve. I got La Bamba.
Oh, nice.
By Richie.
What's the B-side on that?
And it's actually pretty good. The B-side's Donna. So
nice.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, he actually got a pretty solid. I mean, I don't even know what. I mean, I guess there's Let's Go, but that's I don't. His catalog ain't that deep for me. I mean, he died probably after that. He didn't last that long.
No, my Richie.
So apparently, I don't know if this is a cover or they had their own song called this, but "Don't Be Cruel."
They covered it.
Yeah, well, that's too bad.
Yeah,
anyway,
it wasn't very good.
Yeah, I mean, they just look like a cheap trick on the cover there. That's not too good. And I probably should have did these the other way, but well, I don't know. Here's some Supremes. You Can't Hurry Love, and on the back side, Put Yourself in My Place. So a little bit of Motown. I guess they like the Motown because I think there's a few more coming up. Of course, what collection would be complete without Olivia Newton-John Physical?
Let's get physical. Oh, nice.
Yeah, you got to get physical. And The Promise is on the back. And in parentheses, it says the Dolphin song in case, I don't.
Yeah, for sure.
You have to know that it's beyond just The Promise. Got some UB40, Red Wine.
There you go.
Now, this is interesting. And on the other side, surfing. I never knew that because it's technically not technically, it's a cover of Neil Diamond, but
they didn't know it was a Neil Diamond song.
They didn't know that. They actually were covering a reggae cover of it, and they didn't even know it was a Neil Diamond song. So
somebody watched the latest Retro Liberty video.
Someone did, but I also already knew that before, but it did remind me of it. I did know that. I saw it on, I believe it was on one of those, I Love the 80s or something like that. I believe somebody had made that.
Yeah, it's a song by Tony Tribe.
Yes. Yeah. I couldn't remember that band, so I'll give Riff that. I mean, he knows how to Google. So, so we got Devo with Whip It, and on the other side is Turnaround, which basically you saw this side and you turned it back around to whip it because nobody wanted to listen to that song.
So wait, is Retro Liberty, are they back?
No, they are, but they call themselves Pixel Game Squad.
Pixel Game Squad.
That thing. Okay. And they're collecting records now?
No, he's doing like a break. He ripped off another channel. I mean, he even says it, so I'm not being mean. He's taking a year and he's breaking down all like the pop culture events. So he'll talk about the popular movies, popular games, popular music. And he did 1988. Yeah, and Red Wine was one of the songs he talked about. We got some Dwight Yoakam, Guitars and Cadillacs.
Oh, nice.
And on the back side is I'll Be Gone.
I freaking love Dwight Yoakam.
I do too, man. He's
so
a very,
good.
If you want to listen to country, he is country. You know what I mean? Like, he has a twang, and I don't know.
Well, he gets lumped into kind of like the alternative country too, because it's like.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely has a country voice. He's not.
It's not pop country. Yeah.
But he does a lot of covers, and I know I talked about this a few weeks ago, but he does a lot of covers, and they're really good. I mean, he puts. he just, I don't know. I like
Yeah,
him.
some of it almost has like a server vibe to it. Some of it too. Yeah.
Yeah, he owns it. I mean, he's not trying to be something he's not. So I'll give
No.
him that. And here's another 1984 special. We got Lionel Richie, Penny Lover.
Are we dancing on the ceiling on the other side?
No, I think they would have
Ah.
went with that one. That would have probably been the lead, I'm sure. Tell Me. So it's truly a B-side. Nobody knows that song. Let's see. Gonna speed this up a little bit. I got the Birds. Turn, Turn, Turn. And this looks like they've turned this around a lot of times. This might be the worst looking one out of the whole group. And She Don't Care About Time. So,
Yeah.
all right. I mean, I guess. We got more Supremes, I'm in Love Again, and Stop in the Name of Love. I mean, they are playing the hits. This is definitely 50s jukebox right here, or 60s. They got the Drifters, Under the Boardwalk, and on the backside is Ruby Baby. I don't know if I've heard of Ruby Baby. Oh, here goes a good one. I got Clapton, got the Cocaine.
Very good.
And on the back is Promises. I like how it's Eric Clapton and his band. You know, like, what a dick. Just call yourself Eric Clapton. I mean, Eric Clapton, yeah, just these guys over here. Fuck them. You don't need to know their name. They don't need
That's weird because I think those songs are on different albums. Promises. And
They probably are. Man, there was no rules on 45s. They did whatever they want. Here's the Pink Panther theme.
Oh, nice.
Henry Mancini.
And on the back side is Dear Heart. So, and it's not like an actual animal heart. It's like, you know, they're writing a letter, dear.
Oh, DEAR.
AR, yeah. The Righteous Brothers, You've Lost That Love and Feeling, and There's a Woman. So, now you really, I mean, some of the people who, I don't know, we might have some younger people who don't really know about 45s listening. This is what they mean by B-side. Like, the A-side was the hit, and the B-side usually was shit. So every now and then...
Well, you get the deep cuts there. You got the hidden gems there.
That's true. And sometimes they are. And then, like cassette singles they kind of picked up that format. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times the B-side would be an instrumental or a remix.
Like a live track sometimes, too.
Yeah, like a remix or a variation of the same song. Here's from 1964, the Shoop Shoop song, and by Betty Everett, yeah. And on the backside is Hands Off. So I don't know. Maybe she had some issues with people trying to get at her man. And you got a few more here. Let's see. All right, another Motown. We got Stevie Wonder. I Just Called to Say I Love You, and on the backside is the same song. So it must be, yep, one side's an instrumental and one side's the regular version. And randomly, I don't know why, but the Gingerbread Man and the Three Bears are in here. So, ironically, though, I had this record as a kid. As a matter of fact, I probably still have my record. That was one of the things my mom held on to. She didn't hold on to my Star Wars figures or my G.I. Joes. Nothing cool. But, I mean, these are all right. But these books on... And we didn't even have a fucking record player that long. We had it for like maybe 2 years. And after that, it was like, you could just look at the books. And Best Friends for Francis. And then it's continued on the backside. So it was a long story. Jailhouse Rock by the King, Elvis Presley, and Treat Me Nice. So that one's kind of memorable, I guess. I Got You, Babe by Sonny and Cher, and All I'll Ever Need Is You, also by Sonny and Cher. And they obviously didn't live up to that. Because especially Cher. I mean, she's been around.
They probably sold a ton of that one.
Oh yeah, that was a monster hit. This is the Angels and My Boyfriend's Back. So whoever had this was definitely into their 50s and 60s music. I mean, there is some 80s here, but
if you ever see that Smash label, see when I used to collect 45s, when I was DJing. Smash, that I was usually when I was digging through records, I just look for labels, and that was always one I would look for. They always had some cool like 60s garage stuff or soul stuff.
Yeah. Here's this in case you get into the Christmas mood. We got Santa Claus is Coming Back to Town and I'll Be Home for Christmas by Elvis Presley. And Santa Bring Back My Baby Back to Me and Blue Christmas. So Blue Christmas was a pretty big hit. Yeah,
Blue Christmas is good.
Santa Bring My Baby Back to Me. That's a good one too, man.
Oh, that one is too. But the Blue Christmas is definitely one that you're going to hear multiple times a day on the on those channels that play the holiday music. And we got some a little bit of the gimmick music, Yakety Yak by the Coasters.
Yeah.
And Along Came Jones, also by the Coasters. I don't know if they say they're a one-hit wonder, but I can really only think of Yakety Yak off the top of my head. Who Put the Bump?
Oh, nice.
I feel like I'm running out of the cool shit, but these might be fun, I guess.
Shamalama Ding Dong.
Right. We got a Van Halen Jump. That's pretty dope, but no sleeves, so I might cannibalize one of these shitty records for that. And House of Pains on the other side. So
nice.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. They did have some decent taste. All right, I only got a couple more, so in case Bill, unless you get antsy. Got Good Vibrations by the Beach Boys. And Heroes and Villains on the B side.
Another big seller, probably.
Yeah, I can imagine. And let's see. Tonight's the Night by the Shirelles? I don't know. Who the fuck knows? But this one was they got real specific on this one. 5/1/61. So I'm guessing this is exactly when they got it. And Mama Said's on the other side. That's a known hit by them. Twist and Shout by the Isley Brothers and Louie Louie by Kingsman. So this one has two different artists. So that's kind of an anomaly in this, at least what I'm going through here. And a couple more. We got Johnny Angel and Where's It Gonna Get Me by Sherelle, that same chick again. I don't know. I've never heard of that chick. I know the songs though. Come See About Me and Always in My Heart by the Supremes. They definitely dug their Motown. There's a lot of Motown in this. I did notice that, and I think that's it. And so also, I did get 3 LPs while I was out at that same thrift store. I basically was just at this point. I was just kind of just grab them, the scraps of the scraps of the scraps, I'm sure at that point. But I got the Bangles album. Not a huge fan of the Bangles, but I do like, I don't know. I can't imagine I'm ever going to sit down and listen to this, but 4/4, I couldn't pass it up. It's got the Manic Monday. It's got Walk Like an Egyptian.
Manic Monday is a good song. Yeah.
If I was the governor of California, I'd make it illegal to play it on any other day. It can only be played on Monday. We got Neil Diamond, Hot August Nights.
Yeah.
It's definitely got the the ring wear shit on the cover, but I did check out the records and they were in pretty good shape. I listened to it a little bit. They were dusty, so I used one of my fancy record brushes and cleaned it up. But it is a double album. It is live. I mean, you probably knew that, but because it says right there, recorded in concert at the Greek Theater in Los Angeles, and he's playing Invisible Dick right there. He's holding his head. Look at that. I mean, what else is he doing there?
He impregnated so many ladies right then.
I mean, look at that.
Such a weird. Like, why that picture?
I don't. Why? Yeah, I think you know why. He's trying to. He's advertising there.
Takes 2 hands.
Yes, exactly. And a Cars album. This isn't necessarily my favorite one of theirs, but I wouldn't mind having all of them at some point. And again, it was a 1/4, and I wasn't going to leave it behind. And it has the original.
Nice. Mm-hmm.
It has the original deal here. It's quite the collection of dudes. I mean, look at it. You know what? I tell you what, though. I bet you this little bullshit sweater he has there, I bet you I could flip that for about $200 or $300. I'm serious. That geek culture shit is real popular. And with that little keyboard on the top there, I bet you I could flip that for a good amount of cash. Couple of coins. And then, you know, look at it. You got two guys with sunglasses, one nerd, no glasses. I mean, they're just all over the place. I don't know what's going on here. But anyway, and then one other thing. Well, I got a big stack of Blu-rays just for the hell of it. I stopped at the yard sales, my first stop of the day. These were all $1 a piece. And I don't know if I needed them or not, but I love Fight Club, and I'm a big fan of Deadpool and Thor Ragnarok. So these three were definitely cool. And the other ones are okay. I mean, this wasn't very good, but my daughter likes it, so I might just give it to her. And this was I don't know if you ever see. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but there's a very interesting ending to this.
Oh yeah,
Haven't seen it yet.
I won't.
Nice Shyamalan. Yeah, I won't. Yeah,
I won't spoil it, but I'll just say this: you're watching something that you don't realize you're watching until the end. So it's kind of neat. And in A Quiet Place, which I thought was pretty decent. I mean,
I thought it was okay.
I thought it was a good movie. I mean, it's a different kind of. I don't think I would call it horror. And they say it's scary. It's more suspenseful. But
yeah, my son really liked that movie.
I did enjoy it. I mean, I really like the fact that, you know, Jim from The Office has kind of moved on to bigger. You know, he's a big deal now, and he will probably be Mr. Fantastic in the Fantastic Four movie. And then also, I got one VHS tape of note.
Ditchborn.
And
videos.
So, well, I'm assuming
put a generic title on there so the wife doesn't check that
well
out.
Now there's that.
Or the wife might be on there.
Oh, well.
You don't know. Yeah, it might be a collection of his sex tapes, his conquest. His name was Jose, some last name I can't say. It's a lot of consonants, but it's a Spanish fellow. And I hope he liked English music. If it's movies, I mean, if it's porn, then whatever. I don't care if they're speaking Spanish.
You just picked up a VHS.
Well, let me tell you something, Bill.
Like, you never know
Who
what's on
does
there.
that? No, let me tell you something. Let me enlighten you and all your large amount of listeners. Okay, this could be Headbangers Ball. This could be 6 hours of MTV, and I would flip this for like $200 or $300 if it had all the commercials. Okay, this could be Yo MTV Raps, which someone would pay a lot of money for. This could be a rare cut of a movie that had an edit that only went on television, and the only way you could see that edit is through a VHS recording. Just recently, speaking of that, Friday the 13th, okay, when they part 2, when they put that movie out to the reviewers, you know, the MPAA or whoever the hell gives them their rating, they told them they were going to get an X rating unless they cut out a certain amount of scenes. So they cut these scenes out, and those scenes have been lost all the way up until last week.
Oh, really?
Nobody knew where these scenes were. They assumed they were destroyed, and fans have been clamoring for these scenes because they knew about them all these years. And lo and behold, it was one of the editors had it on a VHS tape. So now that editor, a guy wanted it so bad. The guy who's producing the new DVD, the new Blu-rays that are coming out, got on a plane, flew to the guy's house just to get the tape, flew back, and they're going to incorporate those scenes on the new cut. Now, granted, they're probably not going to look so great, but it don't matter. People don't care. It'll just be an alternative cut.
That's awesome.
And had you found that tape, Bill, at a yard sale, it could have been worth $5,000, $10,000. You could have pretty much named your price. People would have kickstarted it just to buy it.
True.
So if I can get it for $250 and it looks interesting enough, why not?
Pro tip.
There you go. Don't turn down those blank VHS.
You never
Could be
know.
anything on
They're hot, man. People want the commercials too. It's really trippy.
All right. Well, say hi to everyone who's popped in the chat. Steven Eider's there, and Curtis, girlfriend
Curtis.
versus, showing up in the chat. Yeah, they're talking about the tripod. What you attach to the bottom of the camera that goes in the tripod, or that piece that is in the tripod. You can do a quick release lever. It stays on the camera. I always called it a skid plate. That's what we were taught in college when we trained on cameras, because we were always told, don't lose the skid plate, whatever you do. And if you have a tripod that's missing the skid plate, it is worthless because you can't attach anything to it. Kevin, you agree?
Yep, that's what we call it, skid plate.
I know mine was shaking a little
Thank you.
bit. I got a shaky tray, and I tried to stop doing that about midway. I noticed it, so I moved the records off. Sorry about that. But, you know, it's kind of exciting. We're in California. We get a lot of earthquakes. So,
Holy mackerel. Well, geez, you guys left me about 2 minutes to get through another 45s here. Should I try?
Let's do it.
There's no time limit.
Well, I got to get up at 4:37 tomorrow morning. Okay, it looks like the back half of these 45s may not be as great as the first half. If you guys just tuned in, I'm going through my 45s that I found in my garage that I picked up as a lot about 10 years ago, and we're just going through them. So this is Gene Pitney. Do you guys know who Gene Pitney is?
Nope.
Did half and half, and what's on the other side here? Tower Tall. You guys remember Tower Tall? That was a big hit. What else we got here? Oh, okay. How about some Roberta Flack? This is another Barb album. The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face. You guys know that.
yep,
Give me blank looks. Holy mackerel.
absolutely. It's a great song.
Yeah. And
It's a great
Trade
song.
Winds. That's a good slow dance song.
Killing them softly, right?
What's with the post-it note that you're putting?
Because
in
I don't like putting my hands through to focus. It wants to focus through the hole. Like,
Oh, I see. Okay.
hello. Oh, see, this is what I learned in college for
I was just
television.
wondering what you were doing. I didn't understand.
That's actually smart, man.
Jimmy Dean, Big Bad John. I don't know Jimmy Dean. I won't go hunting.
It's a good
With you,
breakfast
Jake.
sausage.
I won't go hunting with you, Jake. I know what's going to happen. Who's this? Again, this is one of these RCA Victors that's just doesn't say who the artist is. Just got the songs Depressed Feeling and The Grassroots. Dunhill Records again. And the other side is Let's Live for Today. The Grassroots. I don't know. Oh, here you go. Oh, man. You guys are always showing off your fancy like splatter effect vinyl and stuff. I got that on 45s, no problem. Look at that.
Oh, that's some splatter.
Ooh, dang! Somebody really was missing somebody.
Somebody really likes a Dave Clark 5.
You guys paid so much to have your fancy records. See, I've had this hidden in the garage. I Miss You and Dave Clark 5 At the Scene. Steven Eider said he's looking for a replacement skid plate. You'll never find it. If you lose it, it's no good. The Beach Boys. Whoa. You're So Good to Me. On Capitol. And ooh, that's a great song. Sloop John B.
That is a good song.
Which I've been promising to show my Beach Boys records now for how many weeks?
About a month.
Something keeps getting in the way. Paul and Paula. Do you guys know who Paul and Paula is?
No.
Bobby is the One by Paul and Paula. Spartan of Canada.
It's Barb again.
Yeah.
Barb have some Chris Roberts 45s too. She's all over it.
And you know Paul and Paula, what Paul and Paula's biggest Paul and Paula hit was? It was Hey Paula.
Oh. Oh, look at that.
Who did
Barb-
Barb
Art.
loved somebody, but then no,
Somebody.
I don't love that person anymore.
Is that Steve?
I think so. I think it's Steven Eider. Steven
Steve.
Eider. Moving on,
Steven,
Barb.
call Barb back, dude.
It's probably Barb from the Trailer Park Boys. Barb.
Here we go. This is a good one. The Kinks on Pi Records. Sunny Afternoon.
Nice.
Ray Davies.
Mhm.
And what's this? I'm Not Like Anybody Else. Again, by Ray
Everybody
Davies.
else.
Everybody else. I'm not. Got on Verve Folkways. Let's see who this is. Simple Deed by Adam Mitchell. Yeah, the Poppers. Let Me Be on Verve Folkways. Here's a cool label on Crimson. Oh, I don't know if I can say that. Well, it's Donovan. Written by Donovan. Not performed by Donovan, but hey!
You.
The other side.
Expressway. You could say that one. Yeah.
Expressway. Soul Survivors. On Crimson.
The other song was side B of Expressway. That's the name of that song.
Qu'est-ce que c'est? By Mandala. You guys know Mandala?
I know Mandalay. Vandalay Industries.
Love It Is by Mandala.
Love-itis.
Yeah, it looks very close together. That's some kerning issue there.
The Mellow Carmelo Palalumba.
Whoa.
This one is hip. This one's happening. I'm putting that one on tonight.
That love-itis.
Well, got some more Kinks coming at you from Pi Records. Side A. A dedicated follower of fashion. Ray Davies. And It's All Right by the Kinks. Pi Records. And over on Dot. Ooh, Pat Boone. You guys know Pat Boone.
Mm-hmm.
You ever listen to his rock album?
Yeah.
It's like covering like Black Hole Sun and shit like that.
Really? No, I never heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's on like a motorbike.
Yeah, he looks ridiculous. He's trying to look way too cool.
That record label, they had a bunch of cool surf stuff on that record label too.
Got more Dot coming at you, but this is far from cool surf.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, Lawrence Welk. Right on. And his orchestra. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
Out on a Clear Blue Sky, Lawrence Welk and his orchestra on Dot Records. Ultra high fidelity. On Dimension. Some Carole King. Might As Well Rain Until September, written by Carole King. Canadian, 45. And Nobody's Perfect.
Po Buddy's Nerfect.
Mm-hmm.
And we're getting near the end. The Young Rascals.
Nice.
A Girl Like You on Atlantic. And It's Love. That's their big one, isn't it? Sounds familiar to me. And on Phillips. Oh, the return of Paul and Paula. You just thought their big hit was Hey Paula, and that was it. And we got another chip here.
The wrong way.
I'm showing the
showing the chip. My bad. Okay. I just saw the stupid post-it note.
Stupid?
No, well, hey, I mean,
Bahabi. So what could be on the other side?
Hey, Paul.
Bahabi too.
Hey, Paul.
Well done, Matt Bandy.
In the show right there.
Young Lovers. Okay. Now at the back end here, there's a couple in sleeves, so they must have liked these. They must be a little bit better. Jimmy Dean, more Jimmy Dean. Stand beside me. I thought it was stand by me for a second there. Stand beside me. And geez, I feel bad. Just a tiny drop of sadness by Jimmy Dean. God damn it. Poor Jimmy Dean. Okay, this is a weird one. From Sea to Sea, a centennial song by the Unpredictables. Don't know. From Sea to Sea, that is Canada's motto. I remember that from my history class. And wow.
Is that a
Yeah,
flexi
that's
disc?
neat. It is a flexi disc.
Oh, don't play that thing.
He told me never to play those.
Don't
But
play
look
those.
at this.
It's cool though. Songs of the
Songs.
Humpback Whale.
Mm.
Commentary
what?
by Roger Payne, PhD.
79.
Will those hurt your stylus or what?
It's a good way to fuck it up, yeah.
And there's side 2. Come on, focus. I want to hear that though, Matt Bandy. What could it do?
Hey, give it a shot.
My style. I don't have Matt Bandy styluses, anyways.
Well, you could play it on some shitty record player, like a little kid's record player or something.
The
Probably sound the exact same.
Unpredictables.
No, but it wouldn't mess up your stylus. Oh yeah, you're right. It would sound the same. Yeah.
From the in crowd. You get that? In
Yeah.
crowd.
So they're hanging
Hotel
out at
humor.
hotels.
And here's the centennial song by the Unpredictables, and the name there. I don't know if Kevin recognizes the name.
From
Steve
Sea to Sea.
Smith.
Oh,
You recognize Steve Smith?
is that Red Green?
That's Red Green. Now it can't be
Yeah.
the same guy, can it?
I don't think. Well, he did have like a music career.
I don't know if that's the actual date or the catalog number there. It says 67.
It might be.
Okay, here you go. You guys remember that.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
USA Africa, we are the world. On
I didn't know that
45.
came out on 45.
Yeah, I got that on the large, the 12-inch.
Yeah. That's what Sarah has.
Here's everybody. Yeah. Dan Aykroyd, Harry Belafonte, Lindsey Buckingham. So your artists
Isn't Bob Dylan on there?
should be.
Yeah, he's there somewhere.
Oh, that's gotta
Okay.
go in
I
the
didn't
Bob
see him in the
collection.
names though. I didn't see him in the names on the back, did I? Maybe I missed it.
Yeah, his name's not on here.
Yeah, maybe he was in Hands Across America.
Oh, he's in that song.
Why wouldn't he be listed? You
He's
think
in the
Bob
video.
Dylan- Is it? Why would? Yeah, that's a trip though. You think Bob would have been pissed not being on there?
Oh, no, his name is there.
Oh, okay. What's it say? There he is. All right. How the fuck does Dan Aykroyd get top billing on that?
I think it's alphabetical order.
I think they need to rethink that policy.
Yeah, there's Quincy Jones's name on there, nice and big. Now, you guys might think this is an important track. No, that ain't nothing. That ain't nothing to us Canadians.
We didn't really think
What do you
that.
think's coming up, Kevin?
Tears are not enough. There you go. Northern
The
Lights.
Canadian response.
That's right.
never heard of that.
Yeah, me neither.
Produced by David Foster.
Tears are
Music by
not
David
enough.
Foster.
So who's the big artist
Lyrics.
on there? David Foster?
Brian
Neil-
Adams lyrics.
Oh,
Neil Young's on there. All the
Neil
Canadian,
Young? Oh.
big Canadian stuff.
Alan Thicke on there?
He might be.
Yeah, he actually
Gordon
might be.
Lightfoot.
I mean, I'm being on it. I'm serious because I mean, you got to think of
Sorry.
the actors that were out at the
Jody
time,
Mitchell.
and if
You got
fucking Dan
Jody
Aykroyd's
Mitchell.
on Hands Across America.
Gordon.
Or We Are the World. Gordon Lightfoot. Yeah, I like
Tom
Gordon
Cochran.
Lightfoot.
I think Getting
Oh.
Lee's on there.
Come on. Anne Murray.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
So
there's old hair helmet.
Burton Cummings. Claude
Mike.
Dinkins.
Mike Reno.
Yeah, who doesn't know Mike Reno?
Oh,
Big
Big
Neil.
Mike. Yeah.
It's a household name.
You don't know Mike Reno?
Yeah, of course I
Oh,
know
Big
Mike
Mike.
Reno. Come on. Everybody knows Mike Reno.
Well, we all had to know Mike Reno in Canada.
We had to learn it. That was Paul Schaefer.
Schaefer.
Yeah, that's a
Is
big
Schaefer on there?
Eugene Levy. There's tons of good stuff in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kim
great way to
Mitchell.
end the show. We just all read names off the back of the
And there's the 45. It was when it was in with all the loose ones. That's the one I moved to the back because I knew that sleeve was at the back.
That was the big reveal, huh?
That was the big reveal. So there you go. Tears are not enough. I'm willing to sell this to anyone who wants to offer me a fair price. And the original manufacturer suggested price was $2.50 or less.
Or less.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not. That wasn't a hard number. You're willing to come off that number real quick.
It was Mike Reno Rocket Sauce. Reno.
Yeah.
And not Greeno. Come on.
Jeez. What was his band, Kevin?
I don't know. Mike Reno? Was it Glass Tiger? Was he the Glass Tiger guy?
Maybe.
I know Glass Tiger was in it's in the video. Lover Boy. That's it.
Lover Boy.
Lover Boy. Right.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. All right. Does anyone is that it? Are we done? We went over quite a bit here, I think. Unfortunately. Sorry about that.
I got a half-eaten donut I can show you.
Please, what's inside of it?
Is it jelly?
Oh, it's custard.
I say custard. Oh, yes.
Custard.
My favorite.
But it's a
Plain,
it's a Mexican donut.
plain cake or nothing.
It's a Mexican
Joe.
donut. They call it pan. Pan. I just say pan because I'm a white guy. I say, you got any pan? And they're like, shut up, gringo.
It's a Sierra La Boca.
All right. So that wraps up this week's episode. I didn't get to my record store days. I'll just tell you quick look at more sleeves. I got a sale price on that.
Very good.
And next week we will open up these two records.
Oh.
Oh,
Live, what's the Who one? Live at what?
Leeds?
You have to wait until next week. It was a crazy show that was only recorded this one time, and it's super rare, and you can only see it on this show.
I think I've seen that record before. I think it's new, right? That just came out. Yeah,
Isla White.
Is that the one where he beat up that dude? Pete Townsend punched a guy out.
Yeah, he kicked people quite a bit. If you went, near
Well,
him
somebody I
on
think
stage.
came on stage and like he beat the shit out of him or hit him with his guitar or something.
Maybe we'll talk about it next week. That's what I got next week. We'll open those up. Maybe get to the Beach Boys stuff. And once I continue that, there's Beatles after that. There's more. You guys are wondering. That's 2 weeks without Grateful Dead stuff. I think more Grateful Dead stuff. Finally, one day we'll get into the Bob Dylan stuff, which will just blow your minds away. You'll just be, wow, I wish I had all that stuff. And I'll show you Bob's black metal phase too. Like you, yeah, it's crazy.
You should have
Really
showed
well.
all your Bob stuff on the episode that Denise has missed here. That would have been. She's been waiting for how many episodes for you to get to the Bob stuff?
That's
22.
true. Yeah, that'd be good. All right. So thanks everyone for joining us. Thanks everyone in the chat for coming by. Hopefully next week, maybe we'll get that Curtis to join us again. You never know. I hope you guys will be back joining us. Matt Bandy, thanks so much again.
Thank you.
Good to see you. Kevin, Buried on Mars. Don't forget his WordPress. He's typing stuff. Check out that blog. And what do you got going over there? I only see a basketball score for Chris
I'm
Roberts.
trying to keep the fans updated so they don't turn the channel. They don't
Good
have
thinking.
to turn it to watch the game. I'm giving them the score.
Good thing. He had his Instagram up earlier. That is one of the most happening accounts I've ever seen on Instagram. He showed the back of a cartridge today and got 150 likes. The back of a cartridge. Yeah, you chuckle. God damn
Five
it.
screw? Was it a 5 screw?
No,
Oh,
no, it was nothing. It was nothing. Good on you, sir. Good on you. You're my inspiration. And that's it. You can follow me, Bill, STCPod. I'm on Twitter. Please like and subscribe to this channel. Got more stuff coming out all the time. I hope you checked out the pickup video and the looking through the Bob shelf stuff. More live music coming this weekend. Catch you then. Hit the subscribe. See you next week for more vinyl stuff. That's it. Update on the videos video next week.